Hi friends, I just wanted to come back. I have a bit of a craftermath. To some people it doesn't seem like a big mess, but to me it feels that way, and so I feel like I need to do another reset here. Excuse the little handle or whatever. Here I have a bunch of like tools. I have my decal edge trimmer, I have scrap paper, extra doilies, and I have a large amount of flat stickers here. So I need to put all that back. I made cards, and so these are extras that I had. I'm probably gonna get rid of this one, but I'm probably gonna get rid of this gold one and this one. And I could keep this one. I like the pattern. I have a bunch of scraps that I'm going through, so I think I'm gonna keep big pieces like this, but smaller pieces like this, I think I'm gonna donate. I have punches to the left hand side of my desk. That's where I put all my punches, and I have 1, 2, 3 drawers there, and that's where I generally end up. I don't know why this got picked up by my little bee set basket here, but that's not even in its place. I have I've been having a lot of different plans. I even forgot what I was gonna do with this. I think maybe I was planning on making, nope, those are ledger papers. I was hoping to stick them in with other ledger stuff. This is probably things that I wanted to do with cards possibly, but I think I'm gonna put all of this paper back because right now I don't need it on my desk. I want to do other things. So I do like this paper. I have almost all of my along the way paper pad finished. These are going to go back to where I have my doilies, so those are going to get set there. This is a scrap piece of black paper. I have a folder here, or my accordion scrap bin. These little pieces are going to go to that art swap that I was talking about. That's what I was trying to get out of my mouth in conversation or whatever. So, but these I probably won't, because that's going to be a pain. In my opinion, I think these are workable. I think I'm going to get rid of this stuff too, but there's stuff that I also want to make shapes for. This one lady that goes there, she's a little younger than me, but she teaches an ATC class or whatever while they hang out at the art swap. There, she's kind of stations herself there too, and she's been teaching some kids to do artist trading cards, and I think that's the cutest, sweetest thing. And I figured these are scraps that are small enough that she can use them or have the kids use them, and who doesn't want to play with fun pieces of paper, right? So I think that's what I'm going to do with these smaller pieces, is give them to her so that she can use them for the ATC swap that she has going on. It seems, I feel like I sound selfish by saying like I'm not going to give her all my paper, but I wasn't intending to, but I do want to give her some, and I asked her if she would like some. I'm not just going to intrude and say, here, use my stuff. I'm cutting up pieces of paper here like this I can give, and then this I'm going to keep so that I can use with that Jen Hadfield paper pad, because I don't have much of, see, these I'm going to keep. This one I can give her. I'm going to keep the bigger chunk, I guess. And since I have a bigger chunk of that, I'm going to keep this one and then give her the other one. And things like that, like yada, yada, yada. Let's see here. I don't want to keep everything. And then I'm also going to go through my pieces of strips, because I'm also not going to keep those. I even keep these so that I can package up stuff for other friends. I don't know if she'll be able to use those strips, but I'm sure if she doesn't, she can get rid of them. If she doesn't want to use them, that's okay with me. Also asked her if she'd like some like stamped images, and she said yes. I feel happy and with my decision to let go of scraps like this, because now somebody else can use them. Somebody else can take pleasure in the paper that I don't use, and I don't feel bogged down by having to keep every piece of paper. This is sticker, so I'm gonna keep it. Look at me. I just said I'm not gonna keep every single piece of paper, but here I am, what feels like every single piece of paper. But it's okay, I guess. That's what we deal with, right? That's what we deal in, not deal with, but that's what we deal in, because we're scrapbookers, and I feel like I've used a good amount of it. I just filmed a video where these pieces of scrapbook paper actually are from a card making session. Most of them, especially the Jen Hadfield papers. I just made about 15 cards, and I also covered like this part of the envelope because it had that Hallmark print, and I used part of the pattern paper to coordinate with the card, and I covered it up. And I got these for free at that art swap last month, so it was really fun. I liked the size that I made, and you know, I end up making something creative, and a friend of mine asked me if I can do those for her, and I said sure. So that was really fun to make. Putting away tools where they belong, and or that have a place to go for the moment. And I'm clearing this space out because I want to clean it up and show you the goodies and treasures that I found. I'm gonna keep this, and then see, I even made labels already. I'm just gonna pass those on to her. The first time I saw her there, that she's been attending with this store, she had a whole table full of kids, and they were all excited and doing artsy things, and I like that. I like that they enjoy that. I'm keeping these ribbons. They were from a Pandora bag, and so I gotta put those in my ribbon box. I undid the whole box because I like the texture of the paper, but I'm gonna donate these to that art swap that these don't weigh anything. They go by poundage. They don't weigh anything, but at least somebody can use it for whatever project they have going on. So I'm going to go through this one bag that I have with all my border strips. I have been known to keep them. Sorry, I went to grab the bag. I've been known to keep them in my stash and use them, like these sunglasses, but I think I mean, I have paper that has that pattern, and so I think I'm going to donate these. I'm going to go through this bag because I have several of these strips, and some of these are washies, and so I'm not going to keep all of them. I do have a number of strips already made, but I'm going to go through it and see what I have as far as like the paper strips from the scrapbooks go. And I'm going to get rid of all of those. So that'll take a weight off of my stash. And then I can carry on. This whole thing with scraps is going to be a load off of my shoulders. I don't have to fiddle with, oh, I really want to keep this one little piece of paper, or I really feel like obligated that I have to. No, I don't. I don't have to any longer. And you know what? I'm okay with that. And I am all the better for it. I feel like I've used the paper for whatever I wanted. I've gotten joy out of it, and I can pass it on, and someone else can take joy with it too. So I'm going to come back. Maybe I'll come back and show you the end result. But if I don't, you know, don't come at me. But I do plan on cutting die cuts with these little small pieces. Foil pieces that I can punch out little flowers with, or scrap pieces of paper like this. So that's what I intend on doing with these pieces. I also know, I just pulled this out because I was gonna give it away, but then I decided against it. So another thing that I thought of now is I'm going to go through my ephemera books and see if there's stuff that I want to get rid of that they could possibly use for their, what am I saying, ATC cards. These are things that I have already made into shapes and banners and punched out. So, and I have extras of all this paper, so I am not against getting rid of it or passing it on to someone so someone else can use them, and I will be okay with that because I have the punches, I have the die cuts for these, and I can always make more. See, these are from, I made these out of the Project Life cards. So I'm okay with doing that. Someone else can enjoy them. And like I said, she said that she would be happy to receive extra materials. And then that way she brings her own stuff. And so I don't mind sharing the wealth, right? Especially since she's just there to do this for the kids. I wanna contribute. Not that I have to put myself in the middle of everything, right? But it's fun. It's fun to say, hey, I want to take part in the happy, or I want to spread some joy too, and without like involving myself in the actual classes, because that's her thing. I can always say, hey, I want to participate. How can I help? And I think this is like the most funnest way to do that without like being intrusive or in, you know, stealing her thunder. And also I'm gonna take these all apart, at least the Polaroids and this one that has something. But whatever I feel I can't use or no longer brings me joy, I know I'm going to pull out of these things and make them, one, a bit skinnier, but two, I know that I have tons of ephemera waiting for me. I have baskets of new ephemera that I want to get into. And so letting go of things like this, where I hand cut or fussy cut all of this, and that they can use, like, these are all stamped phrases. And so I don't mind, you know, making space in my books for those kind of things. I think that they'll enjoy it too. I think it'll refresh her stash because she was okay with me bringing some things. Not only that, but I get to use my tools. And if a lot of them are unused, then hello, I have a whole cart full of new dies that I have, or stamp sets that I've yet to use. And so that also prompts me into using up my things, right? But I'm gonna get rid of this page, maybe even this part. I have doubles of some stuff because of stickers and papers, especially with the paper pads. It comes with doubles, and so I'm able, if I just want to share one half of what I have, that's fine too. I did that with a bunch of my paper pads with a friend of mine, and that was a big load off of my shoulders because it made more space in my area that I could replenish with more and newer collections. And so I'm okay with that. I'm okay with saying, hey, this is something that I can use and be okay with it. I have yet to go through like one of my paper pads, and so I'm gonna figure out how to take the sticky off of those. But like, see, I already have punched out images. I can just stamp something on them or leave them blank, and then they can figure out what they like. Like, these are all pieces that were fussy cut. I know I have another page of this. I know I have several cameras somewhere, and it's okay to share. I'm more than happy to share with people that want to get creative too, especially when it's like donating to a local cause and inspiring kids to participate in the arts and get introduced into something in a whole. It keeps the, you know, new era of, or new generations of scrapbookers, junk journalers, artists. It keeps them interested, especially nowadays when they don't, some of the kids don't even have art classes. My boys like to do art, so they're not lacking anything in here. They do it whenever they want. I try not to harp on wanting them to participate with me, because they're like, Mom, it's your thing, blah blah blah. But if I see other kids that want to do this, and I can do my own thing and give along. See, I have doubles here, so I'm gonna pull out the double, or the ones that I don't really know. The ones I know I really am not going to use, I'm going to go through all this and donate. And so if this is something that my local library does in this county, I'm really fortunate that this store started this. I have a really cool haul, and I rescued some, I want to say vintage, but somewhere in the 70s, 80s, and I think that's vintage nowadays because it is older than 25 years old, right? That counts. It doesn't matter. I have Maggie Holmes, I have all of these cut aparts, and whatever doesn't bring me joy anymore, I can move on, give it to someone, and bring someone joy. And I think I'm really excited too, because then I'm like, ooh, I want to donate this, or I want to donate that, and it's made me really happy. I get to cut apart stuff, I get to play with the paper, and I think that's the most gratifying part for me, is that I can move other stuff out of my room, and then, since I'm kind of lacking in space, but also have space to bring in new stuff. Like, I got rid of like 12 rolls of washi. I was kind of dying for washi space. I didn't have enough space, and I still have washi coming in at least once a month because of the Heidi Swapp Stop the Blur sets. They come with a roll of washi as well. It's not like I'm lacking for things either. I have a steady stream of art supplies, as you can see from all of my subscriptions and hauls, and even the art swaps. Those have been really fun for me. I lucked out this month, and so I'm gonna go ahead and do that. I don't have any problems getting rid of some of the things, and it's been really fun seeing what else either I can get rid of or I can spare for someone else to use. I really have had so much fun with it, but that's what I'm going to do. I'll see if I can give an after of all the things that I got rid of, especially with the strips, and then see if I can show my progress on the punches. So I said that I was going to go through all of these strips, and I managed to purge a whole slew of them, and I'm pretty excited, not only for myself but for the recipient of these scraps. I hope that they are very useful and end up having or making somebody smile, especially the kids. I even have half bits like this that I think that they could use. I'm almost tempted to go through them and fussy cut them because I am kind of fixated right now on this ordeal, and this is just, I would say that I purged more than half of all of these strips, and I'm really excited about that because then that means that they can have lots to play with. I hope I'm not overwhelming the lady that is you know, she does the ATC swaps and all that. I hope I'm not overwhelming her, but I mean, it's a whole handful. It's a hefty set. I even I have been making washi tape paper strips as well, where I adhere washi to, I mean, I don't know, can you make sense of how much that is in terms of how much I'm purging? This is what I'm keeping. I have some Cocoa Vanilla and Heidi Swap washi tape that I'm not gonna get rid of. I have a couple of these with the polka dot yellow because I don't have enough of the yellow paper strips. I kept half of these sets and I gave the other half to her. Mine's a bit of a handful too, but most of it is washi, and I'm okay with that. I purged some. I gave her some strips of all of the washi, and so I'm excited about that. I have way more than enough washi. In some cases I gave her like most, and I just kept a couple of strips. That's not for me. These are, I'm gonna stamp something on them. I just kept some aside because I do want to make some into strips or stamp some words onto there. She said that that would be helpful. So this is gonna go back. That's less than a handful. It's just bulky, that's all. But I'm really excited about what I purged and what I'm going to hand off to her. I found some that I want to punch or die cut for her so that these can be embellishments for their ATC cards. I don't know how artistic they're going to get into them, but also I've been using these little finicky strips to punch out a bunch of the die cuts. I punched some out in the label set. Shamel Lane is the one that introduced me to this punch years ago, and I don't tend to use it. I used to use the ticket a lot and punch out shapes for the big ticket, but the little ones were never my ticket. But now I can actually punch out something like this and make it into a fun ticket shape for them, and then I can actually put it in the little die cut bag. She did say that words would be fun. And then if they don't like one side, they can always use the other side and actually write a word, or in some cases there's actually a double-sided paper in there, and they can be a cute label with a different color. And so I'm going to accumulate those, and I have several die cuts too that I had done. I have a whole bunch of die cuts or little punches, or even these embossed that are one-offs that don't kind of go. I'm gonna stick those in there too and see if they'd I'm sure she'd love some of that stuff. I hope. I'm saying I'm sure, like if I know her, but anyway, I figured I'd do a lot of these label ones like this. That doesn't fit there, but it'll fit here totally. I mean, instead of it being crooked or off cut, it has a shape now, and it's something that they can use for their card or whatever. If not, then there's the back end and they can write whatever they want on it. So I'm excited to have purged all of this. I'm gonna go through my pattern paper. I've already gotten rid of like a half pound of paper like that, or a whole pound of scraps that I don't feel obligated to keep in order to finish them up, quote unquote, or whatever. So I'm really excited about that.